fait un moment que je vois ces fils. Non. J'ai toujours vu ces fils. Tout le monde en a un. Ils sont presque tous pareils.
Playful and poetic quality to the piece. I loved that layering effect of the string integration within the film, that imaginary idea or force that we can feel viscerally, made tangible for the audience and for our lead. Very relatable feeling to needing something to tie down to or connect to, those invisible forces tethering and bringing us to people, other people, communities, um, work purposes.
Well, this was original and imaginative. I could watch this over and over. The simple idea of the string being a connection for this little girl to space and her spirit, her identity. The visual effect of the strings was excellent, so creative. The voiceover narration, I enjoyed that, and the imagination behind the story of her wanting to go to space and explore and being encouraged by her grandfather. The surprise at the end, I was actually taken aback when the red string was not going to make contact with her but escapes her hand. But it makes her come up with the resolve to actually be certain that she'll explore space, and that's inspiring.
Gorgeously shot. From its opening frame right to its very last. And the animation, the animated strings kind of integrate with the live action genre really well. And they kind of create this very poetic sort of world. I think the idea of the strings themselves has real emotional weight to it. It's a great idea. And you can really feel like her sadness and separation as a result of not having one of her own strings. Her sort of quest for her own is really affecting, and it's the idea of wanting to get into space to find out what the strings are and stuff is really cool. I love that. It's heartwarming and it's interesting, but it's kind of permeated with this sadness. And also her ability to see the strings giving her insights into other people again was really cool and genuinely interesting. So it's just all in all, it's just a gorgeous film wrapped around a fantastic idea.
Wow, this was really different, really creative. I like this whole story. There was one cool shot too. Well, it's actually two cool shots. I think one was in the beginning and one was closer to the end where she's got her hand up and you can see her face through her fingers to some extent. I just thought that was a cool creative shot. And just all of this whole premise of her seeing strings over people's heads but her own. For me, I interpreted it as her intuition or being in touch with the spirit of the universe, the universal spirit, because she was able to kind of know when things were going to happen with people. So to me, like the knot over somebody's head or when people weren't tangled together anymore, she knew they were getting separated. And it just felt like that was her way of visualizing her having those intuitive thoughts and putting it into some kind of a visual. But yet she couldn't see her own. So that was interesting, why she wasn't able to hear her own intuition for herself. But again, this could be interpreted differently. That's how I interpreted it.
This storyline is just brilliant. It taps into her feelings of isolation and feeling different from others. The swaying strings are made with clever CGI. They seem to take on a life of their own. The lead's performance is so subtle as she deals with family breakdown and death. And the sweet piano soundtrack below the earnest narration was excellent for this film.
Fascinating premise, really great execution for it as well. You're definitely, kind of left wondering, what does it mean? Is it being different? It could be any number of things. And I think it's great that they put that out there and it's done the way it is. The performances were great, especially our lead, the way she just carries us through this really sort of a kind of bizarre but whimsical idea that I really enjoyed it. I thought this was really well done.
It's really sweet and creative. I love the visual approach and the combination of animation with real people, and I think it does a really unique way of exploring grief and sadness and loneliness in a creative way, with a sense of hope at the end. I found myself really curious about the backstory of the strings, and I think this definitely has potential to even be a longer piece.